So, hands up if you think you are a people pleaser. In fact, you're probably going to know you're a people pleaser by how easy you find it to say yes, how hard you find it to say no, and the sort of inner belief you have that nice people are super accommodating people and they need to offer their help wherever and whenever possible. And certainly a lot of people in my Get Off the Hamster Wheel Facebook group began to identify that they were people pleasers to an extent, and that this was one of the things keeping them on the hamster wheel of busyness and overwhelm. Because that is the dark side of being a people pleaser. Being a people pleaser can be exhausting in its helpfulness. And we are serial overcommitters. We end up letting people down. Our work might be late or not of a quality that we'd wanted it to be because we've overcommitted. We've said yes to too many things. And in addition to that, I find in my coaching work that managers who are people pleasers have a very difficult time holding the people that they work for accountable. They can't have those kind of open, constructive conversations that involve feedback, that involve goal setting, that involve some form of clarity around what we should and shouldn't do, because people pleasers are terrified of not being liked, not being appreciated, not being loved. And in the Facebook group, Get Off the Hamster Wheel, I mentioned that there's one test to find out if you're a people pleaser, and that's what I call the open door test. If you open a door for a stranger to follow behind you and you leave it open so that they can come in behind you, the big test is, what do you want them to do as a result? Do you just are you happy for them to come and go as they please? Or do you have an expectation that they're going to smile at you and say thank you and preferably think that you're an all-round awesome person? Now, if your answer is that you have these expectations, then you have people-pleasing tendencies, because it is not up to you to make an action that no one else asked for and then expect praise or recognition for it. And our expectations, this linking our helpfulness and putting attaching a string to it that comes with a need to be praised and liked, comes from our childhood, comes from our upbringing, where we got praise, we got noticed, we got seen, we got told we were good girls or good boys if we pleased other people, if we said yes. No would not have been popular. No would have not made us a good girl or a good boy. So compliance really equals people pleasing. And that's fine, that worked, that was probably necessary when we were young. But now we're not children anymore. We are able to say no, and we need to say no indeed, because we simply have too many things. We don't have the bandwidth to say yes to everything. Neither should we say yes to everything. And neither should we do things because we want the praise, because that ends up leaving us underneath it frustrated and angry. So a lot of people pleasers I know come to my coaching and my one-to-one coaching quite angry, with all sorts of dialogue going on in their heads about what other people are not doing, are not appreciating in them, not seeing in them. And what it is that they are volunteering their helpfulness and they're not getting that praise back. So people pleasers tend to also be praise junkies. So maybe that's something that you want to consider. Are you a praise junkie? If you think you are, if you think you're on the hamster wheel because of some of your desires to say yes, then please join me in the group, where you'll find lots of discussion, lots of tips on how you might say no without upsetting people.